Welcome to the Bos Auto Show. Buying or selling your vehicle during the pandemic is certainly different, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Owner of Bos Auto Sales in Quincy, Paul Hu, has years of experience, knowledge, and stories to share with you. Find out what the local car market is like and what you can do to help secure yourself the best deals. Join in on Paul's discussion with our moderator, Gloris Liu.
Good afternoon. I'm your moderator for the Bos Auto Show season. With me is the owner of Bos Auto Group in Quincy, Paul Hu. He will be answering questions for us over the next 45 or so minutes about car maintenance. You can visit Bos Auto website at www.bosautogroup.com. It is BOSAUTOGROUP. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. This month, Bos Auto has a lot of special deals that we post on social media. Do not miss them. Follow at Bos Auto. If you missed our previous show, you can always find it online. Google Bos Auto Show podcast and listen to it on your favorite platform. Hi, Paul. Nice to meet you again on Saturday noon.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Today we are gonna talk about car maintenance. First of all, why is regular car maintenance so important?
It's just like any other matters, like you doing your body check every year or every 2 years. It's just to check on things, replace out the wear and tear parts, like tires, brakes, filters, oil. And then within the maintenance time, the mechanic or whoever works on the car can find the problems or the future problems could lead to a bigger problem.
Yeah, in other words, the expense of car maintenance paid off in the long run. It is wise and efficient to do so. How often should I have routine maintenance?
It varies if it's a new car or relatively new. I would do oil change at least once a year, even I don't drive that many miles. If I drive a lot, I would do at least 5,000 miles. Nowadays, the oils are very good. So when I do the oil change, I put in from the day one, I got the car. I put full synthetic oil in the car. So I'll keep changing the same full synthetic oil along the way. But if I got the car and I know the car is running regular synthetic oil, I'll just change synthetic oil all the way, but I would shorten the mileage. I would put roughly 3,000 miles. I wouldn't go over 5,000 miles that not to do oil change on a regular synthetic oil.
Okay, yeah, I see. So you mean it depends on the situation of different cars, right?
Yeah, if I have a older car, 5-6 years old, have some miles on it, I would change the oil more often. I'll pay more attention to it. And there are a couple of almost like a mile mark you wanted to look out. 60,000 miles on any given car regularly, and 90,000 miles. These two are critical to pretty much any truck, van, SUV, sedan, coupe, any car, any make. So the engine is more like, just think about it like a human being. When we grow up, we don't really worry about it. We just keep going. But when we're getting to 60,000 miles, I might need a little bit here and there tune up. might go see a doctor, see, hey, I don't feel good here. I don't feel, I might need some therapy. I need this and that, a lot. And then when it goes to 90,000 miles, I would definitely bring to the mechanic, have him do a thorough checkout. It just, a lot of problems could start happening. Water pump, belt, transmission, even engine. Yep.
I just wonder what could be the result if I missed an oil change.
Once a while shouldn't be fine, but if I keep, they did a test before. I think it's a oil company. They bought the same car, same time, brand new. One does regularly 10,000 mile, 5,000 miles oil change. The other one never changed oil. They both drove to 100,000. They opened up the engine. You're seeing the same car, same manufacturer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's totally two different scenario.
Oh.
So if you miss 1, 2, 3 times, it's okay. Make sure you go back to it when you remember and have time.
Yeah.
But if you constantly just want to leave it there, I don't want to do oil change, it can be a very big problem.
I see. So how about the air filter? How often should I change it?
Air filter, there are 2 air filter per se in the car.
Mm-hmm.
One air filter is for the engine, before the intake, and the other one is called cabin air filter. So which is your the cabin, the in the car, in the truck. The air filter, not so much. Maybe once a year, once in 18 months, I'll change that. The cabin filter, me personally, I change it every 6 months. The reason being is, if I turn on AC on and circulate the air within my cabin, within the car, the air doesn't interchange with the fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put a lot of like a work into the filter. And I don't know how many people smoking right now, but if you do smoke, I'll change it definitely every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
If, for example, like this COVID thing, immediately as soon as the shop opened, I went back and changed my cabin filter. And then probably every 3 to 4 months, I'll change it again. Cabin filter to me is more critical than the engine, the air filter.
Yeah, especially when I have a kid.
Oh, even worse. So when I have a kid, which I do, 2 years old, turning 2 this month, they are very sensitive.
Yeah.
And then when you have some bad smells from outside, from the car, you drive by people are burning their leaves in the falls, and all that will stick into the filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good for the kid, and on top of that, maybe I haven't driven my car for 2-3 months. The car has been sitting there. In New England weather, we probably have some moisture inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
They could build up mold.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Frequently changing the air filter is vital for our house. And last time you told me that checking fluid levels is important, especially before winter. How often should I check my car's fluid levels?
I would check pretty much every 6 months if I'm not driving too much. Again, if I'm driving the highway, I travel 200 miles a day for my work. I'll change oil or check my fluid every month. But if not, if I just city traveling or I just drive around town, pick up groceries, just 6 months. 6 months is good. And then because nowadays the car are a lot smarter than 20, 30 years ago. You have to actually pull out the oil stick and check, see if the oil is dirty, enough oil in it. Right now, you hop in the car, you close the door, you start the car right up, and then there's the computers, whatever the car you're driving, the computer from the car will tell you, oh, okay, you might need oil change, you might need maintenance. There's a lot of that. Everything became much more smarter.
Yeah.
And actually make me lazy. I don't like it. But as the time goes by, I start relying on them. So I will look at the messages the car is giving to me.
To read the screen.
Yeah, simple as that.
Another thing I worry about my car in winter is the battery. Say if I'm out of town for a holiday or vacation for some weeks or even longer, would my car's battery die as I am not driving it for quite a while?
If it's a regular passenger car, cold winter or low temperature are no good for batteries across the board. Doesn't matter if it's a Tesla or BMW, Toyota, or GM, whatever you're driving. The battery is battery. It will drain the battery much more than a summer, a warmer temperature. But if you do 1 week, 2 week, I'm not worried about it. But if you're going away, you're going away for like 3 weeks, a month. First of all, if I could, I'll put the car in a warmer garage. That would help a little. Or maybe I'll give a key to a relative, a neighbor. Hey, would you mind to start on my car once 3 weeks, a month, stuff like that. Leave it running a little bit. Or if I have enough space and tools, I'll simply just disassemble the battery. Disconnect the battery, and maybe a small wrench can just get it done. And then some car probably can use a screwdriver. Then you're all set.
Cool. It's good to know. I'm Season along with Paul Hu, and we'll have more Bos Auto Show in less than a minute here on 95.9 WATD.
So, you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Buy it at Bos Auto. Bos Auto in Quincy has a fantastic selection of pre-owned vehicles, both luxury and economic. BMW, Audi, and Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. They search nationally for the very best vehicles so you can drive home with the best value. And right now at Bos Auto, you can get behind the wheel of the pre-owned vehicle of your dreams with affordable finance rates, maybe even lower than 3. That's right, meaning just a few $100 a month. Visit BosAutoGroup.com, BOSAutoGroup.com, and check out their huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. They'll buy your car, take your trade, or even work on consignment. Bos Auto has an incredible lineup of domestic and foreign vehicles, even rare finds like Ferrari. Search online and see for yourself why you should book your next car buying experience with Bos Auto. They're open for appointments Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Book yours at BosAutoGroup.com, BosAutoGroup.com.
I'm Season, your moderator, continuing our discussion with Paul Hu here on the Bos Auto Show. You can visit Bos Auto website at www.bosautogroup.com. It's BOSAUTOGROUP. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bos Auto. If you missed our previous show, you can always find it online. Google Bos Auto Show Podcast and listen to it on your favorite platform. For those who just joined us, today we are talking about car maintenance. The next question for you, Paul, is when should I get a tire rotation?
Um, I would change it while every time or every other time I change my oil. Um, 5,000 miles, I definitely would rotate my tires. If I'm changing 3,000 miles on my oil, I can wait for another time. So within 5 to 10,000 miles after I drove it, I'll change I'll do the tire rotation. And every time I do like a maintenance, this and that, I'm a lazy guy. I keep forgetting about it. And then, oh, okay, I have a couple hundred miles passed. No big deal. I'll remember next time. And next time I don't remember it. So sometime if you can put the like a note aside, a reminder, set a reminder with the time. A lot of car will help you to do that now, but if the car doesn't, I would just do it myself. Just simply just set a reminder. If you know you're driving 1,000 miles a month, I'd do it 3 months later, 5 months later, or at least remember once a year do a rotation. The reason being that tire rotation is so important is you wanted the tire wear out evenly.
Mm-hmm.
So when a car sit on your tires, all four tires, um, it actually doesn't sit very evenly.
Mm-hmm.
So you on maybe let's say front left tire, you probably depends on the tie rod and the control arm, how the tire positioned. You might wear out the outside a little bit more than inside.
Yeah.
So you want to rotate to the front left. I mean front right.
Yeah, I see.
And then just switch it around. A lot of cars are square setup. When we say square setup is all four tires same size, same width. There are maybe a bigger car that has we call it stagger setup. So the rear two tires are wider. The two front tires are narrower. You can't rotate between the front and back.
Yeah.
You only can left and right. So what I normally do is, and I because I change my winter tires, I look at my tire thread. I'll look at it after I took the tire out. It's very simple. If you see one side is wearing out too much, and you see it's not normal, you should go to a tire shop or a mechanic, have them to do a not only just rotate the tires, but alignment. That is important because if you do alignment, that can maximize the opportunity that you have all four tires sit evenly when the car sit on the ground. So a lot of people don't know that. They just maybe they bought a car, they keep changing left front tire or right front tire every year, even the tire is still good. They don't understand it that when the mechanic bring him a chart says, "Dear Sam, you have to change your left front tires because we're out," and you'll be like, "No, I just changed it last year. I don't get it." So this is part of called maintenance. If you would pay more attention, closer attention to it, little details matters.
Yeah, I see. And how do I know when to replace tires?
Oh, that's a big question. Was a regular driving. I'm talking about regular 9 to 5, I go to work, pick up groceries. I would change tires I mean, depends on what tire you have. I would change tires every 20,000 to 30,000 miles. Some tires are known to last longer.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my personal favorite, Continental, for passenger cars. Those tires goes like 40,000, 50,000 miles, no problem. If you keep rotating them and do the right alignment, right? Michelin, they're very good tires, but they're softer. They're very soft tires. That's why they're quiet. When you're driving on them, like Toyota, Lexus, you drive on, it's Mercedes, it's so quiet. Part of that is from the Michelin tires. And they're softer, of course, that goes faster. Maybe 20,000, 25 at the most, some Michelin tires. Summer tires tend to go more very fast, actually. Some summer tires I could only use one summer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, everybody have different driving habit. People like go gas all the way, put brakes right away. Very harsh driving, taking fast corners. You're gonna wear the tires out faster. If I'm just slowly, I see a red light, start to let go the gas and gradually stopped. And you save some brakes and tires. And another thing about you changing your tires is I call it incident. Because a lot of people go to the city every other week or every week or even every day. All those city parking, a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nightmare.
Yeah.
It can easily take out a big chunk of the tire on the tire wall. So the tire, the strongest part is the tire face. It has those metal tube in it, whatever it is, to help reinforce the you have a nail and you have this and that. Whatever happened on the road, especially New England road, it can be anything on the road. It helped with that. But the tire wall, not so much. The tire wall are the weak spot for the tire. Because the tire is not designed for you to use the tire wall to hit anything hard.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you, unfortunately you hit a curb, it take big chunk out the tire, I would get it replaced right away. Right away. I'm not taking my chance. Because, okay, that's that part. And then bubbles. Some bubbles happens are because a lot of people might not know this. Is because when you go to a car wash, they put something called tire shine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very strong chemical. What is tire made of? Rubber. Chemical, sunshine, moisture, rubber.
They hurt rubber.
Yeah, what do you think would gonna happen, right? And then you have direct sunshine to it. It won't happen overnight. It's gonna take a lot of car wash. It's gonna take a lot of beautiful weather. It's gonna take a lot of driving hard on the potholes, and boom, the bubble came up. And next thing happens, and by the way, a lot of time, if you see a bubble on your tire, I would say 50% of chance your wheel is bent. I would say this is from what I've seen all these years. 50% your wheel is bent. You can't see it. It's a very small bend. You put on a tire rotation machine, you can tell, or the mechanic can tell. So those two, even I just put on a brand new tire last month, I would change it right away. Yep.
Cool. There is a scenario that I'm always afraid of. What should I do if I have a flat tire while driving on a highway?
Uh, if you should have listened to me, change out the tires
Yeah.
when you have bubbles and a big chunk out of. Unfortunately, you didn't pay attention. Unfortunately, there's something you couldn't stop or just make the tire flat. I would have not rushed on the brake right away.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely not do that. Do not rush on steering wheel, brake right away. Just don't. For you doing that, the car will lose control right away, lose balance as well. So we want to have a gradual stop. What a gradual stop is, first of all, take a deep breath. Nothing gonna go bad. It's just a tire and a wheel. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And gradually look into your right. Look first. Put the car to a gradual stop on a safe spot. And then, obviously, you turn on the hazard light. If you have AAA, call them right away. If you don't, again, depends on where you are. If you are in the middle of nowhere and you don't know how to change a tire, I guess I'll call 911 or local mechanic shop, whoever. And then AAA would help. If you want to change it and you think you're capable of doing it, make sure you park the car on a relatively flat surface. You don't want the car be tilted one way or the other. You want to be relatively sit on flat surface. You bring out the jack the car up. And then if you can do it, make sure you do it safely. Put out those triangle safe signal. I would put at least 50 yard, 100 yard away. And then come back, take the tires. If you have a spare tire. Before you do any of that, check. Do you have a spare tire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what are the services included in the car tune-up? When should I get a tune-up?
So a tune-up, it's really fairly easy. People are talking about it every day. But a lot of people might not understand a tune-up is not necessary for a relatively new car. If I just bought this car or relatively brand a pre-owned car, 2 years old, 30,000 miles on it, I'm not gonna bother with a tune-up. It's a lot to go with it. But if I do get a tune-up, I would do at least, like I said earlier, 60,000 miles, 50,000 miles, or if the car has something wrong with it, it give me some back signal. For example, like the oil keep burning. I just add 2 quarts oil 2 days ago, and then all of a sudden the car is only 30,000 miles or 20,000 miles, and then all of a sudden the computer is telling me I'm missing oil. So I would bring the car to a mechanic shop or to a dealership to find out, hey, why my car is burning oil so quickly. It may be something wrong with the car. Then you need a tune-up.
I see.
Yep.
I'm Season along with Paul Hu, and we'll have more Bos Auto Show in less than a minute, here on 95.9 WATD.
So, you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Buy it at Bos Auto. Bos Auto in Quincy has a fantastic selection of pre-owned vehicles, both luxury and economic. BMW, Audi, and Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. They search nationally for the very best vehicles so you can drive home with the best value. And right now at Bos Auto, you can get behind the wheel of the pre-owned vehicle of your dreams with affordable finance rates, maybe even lower than 3. That's right, meaning just a few $100 a month. Visit bossautogroup.com, BOSAutogroup.com, and check out their huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. They'll buy your car, take your trade, or even work on consignment. Bos Auto has an incredible lineup of domestic and foreign vehicles, even rare finds like Ferrari. Search online and see for yourself why you should book your next car buying experience with Bos Auto. They're open for appointments Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Book yours at bossautogroup.com, bossautogroup.com.
I'm Season, your moderator, continuing our discussion with Paul Hu here on the Bos Auto Show. You can visit Bos Auto website at www.bossautogroup.com. It's BOSAUTOGROUP. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bos Auto. If you missed our previous show, you can always find it online. Google Bos Auto Show podcast and listen to it on your favorite platform. For those who just joined us, today we are talking about our car maintenance. And continuing our last questions, what about a tune-up?
So, yeah, that was burning oil we talked about earlier. And there's another scenario I would change. I'll find out from the mechanic or not that do I need a tune-up is when the car is giving me some sort of weird message. Like on some certain Mercedes, they tell you service B2 past due 200 days, something like that. Or they will tell you on the Porsche, service immediately. So what I would do is once I see those, if I have a regular mechanic, I just call them, find out, hey, what do you think? If I don't go to a mechanic, I just go to a dealership. I'll just call the dealership, ask for the service advisor I work with. Ask them what is that, and they'll tell you, oh, okay, this is just a regular maintenance. On the Mercedes, there's like A1, A2, B1, B2. And once you do those maintenance, so B2 is a very serious maintenance for Mercedes. It has from air filter, oil filter, cabin filter. On their bulletin, they tell you like wipers. They tell you to do the tire rotation, alignment. They want you to change out spark plug, flush the coolant. That's a major one. A regular service, let's call a Mercedes C300, a service B2 would cost you easily between $800 to $1,200. Depends on where you are. Do you necessarily need to go to a dealership? I don't think so. Those are relatively major, but it's sort of anybody can do it. You go to any regular mechanic, they can check it, and then if they do it, they will give you a question, or they ask you, how do you want to perform it? If you want to perform it in the like they have every part's OEM, right? Before, like for example, I go to a Firestone place. They said, I just go to change the tires, and they say, oh, the B2 is lit up, and then you can do the service. I said, okay. And then they will ask you, hey, if you are going to use the OEM parts or aftermarket parts. With me, I would change with aftermarket parts. It's just because it's cheaper. With these stuff, there's nothing really. I have to use OEM parts. I can probably shred that $800 to $1,200 bill into 400, 500 easily, just by going to a maintenance facility, by going to a individual mechanic shop, by using aftermarket parts, things like that. And on top of that, it's a tune-up. If I go to a dealership for a tune-up, which a lot of people are trying to do that at home. They go on YouTube. We'll call those like YouTube. What do they call? They fix the car, follow the YouTube video, and then they made a problem, and then they just they go to dealer and then they make a big fuzzy out of it, and then it's no good. So with those regular tune-up, I can spend less money. I get relatively same quality, and why not?
Okay, I understand. So I get a tune-up when something goes wrong, and it is a big deal. So what should I do when I see my check engine lights are on? Will it damage my engine if I continue to drive my car with the light on?
Yes, there's always all kinds of lights going on right now in your car. A check engine light normally is yellow. Within your dashboard, you normally, I would say normally, you only have 3 colors of signal light. You have yellow, which is check engine light. You have red, which is stop. And you have green, which is like signal light, this and that, messages. If I see a yellow light, I would pay attention to it. That is almost like a caution. Be careful with it. But on the other one, what do you call the green lights, like signal lights, that's normal. But if it's a red light, for example, if it's driving, if there's a car, I'm driving, but the key is not with me, the car will give you a red light. If the car, I didn't close the door properly, safety measure, trunk is open, they give me a red light, I will not drive. So on red, stop immediately. Yellow, pay attention, slowly get to, again, safe spot, and then try to figure out on your own or call the mechanic. If check engine light comes on, sometime with certain cars, like Range Rover. Today I'm driving a Range Rover. I'm just test drive for the dealership, trying to figure out what's going on with the car. The check engine light is on. The check engine light, the reason that on is it tells me ABS speed sensor malfunction. Okay. That can continue to drive. But if it's telling me, obviously we decoded with our computer and everything else, the computer, the car himself won't tell you what code it is, what's the issue. So I looked at it, I cleared the light, the car come back with a bank 2 running lane O2 sensor, give me a P code. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. 2 days ago, give me one code. Today, give me another code. So that is telling me something is not right. But can I keep driving it? Yes. And we can discuss more about this part. I don't know how people take on recent votes on question 1. I don't know how regular voter or all the voters, what's their take on that? Right now, all the manufacturers with their cars, they can pretty much see a lot of information that whatever you're doing in the car. They have a master computer inside the car that pretty much records everything. And if I have a fault code with the car, like ABS speed sensor is wrong, I'm driving it and moving forward with it. If I go to a dealership, a Range Rover dealership, a dealership will tell me, okay, you know what? No big problem. It's going to cost you $1,200. We're just going to clear the light for you. Or you go to a regular mechanic. The mechanic will tell you, oh, don't worry about it. I'll charge you $100. We'll just clear the light. They're doing pretty much the same thing in your eyes. But it's actually not. The mechanic you go into, the regular mechanics, they don't have much information that the dealership, the franchise dealership has. They have the computer that connects to Range Rover North America. They have all the data that previously stored inside your car that was communicating. You just didn't know about it. And then once that fault codes come up, the manufacturer can see a whole picture. And when they clear the light, so-called, quote unquote, they're actually going back. They're doing a lot of work. They maybe remove a parts here and there. That's why it's costing you $1,200. But if you bring that car to the local or regular mechanic store, they tell you, I'm going to charge you $1,200 to remove a light. You're going to tell them you're nuts. You're crazy. Why just $1,200 to remove a light, right? To reset a light. Same thing as I do. I don't want to pay $1,200 to just, it's a computer issue. And then this check engine light came up as me today. I know it's ABS sensor or bank. It's totally two different irrelevant things. The computer is telling me. In my opinion, I don't think it's none of those. I think it's just probably some systematic problem. But how do I get more information about this as a repair shop or a vehicle owner? I don't have the right to do it. So right now, I have to go to a dealership, a Range Rover dealership, to do that. It's just painful. It is very.
Cool. For more professional advice, please call Mike's Auto Body at 781-848-9486. It's 781-848-9486. Thank you for tuning in to 95.9 WATD. We'll be here at the same time next Saturday. If you missed our show, you can always find it online. Google Bos Auto Show podcast and listen to it anywhere, anytime.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bos Auto Show. Come back next week after the news at noon here on 95.9 WATD.